everybody, welcome back to Cottoverdi. Today is a super exciting day because we are finally replacing the tree that keeled over in this spot with something completely different, and I'm going to bring you along for the journey. Now I'm going to spin the camera around and talk you through what we're doing and let you see what's going on. We're in the middle of a heat wave today, so we've kind of set up the parasols so that we can work in the shade because it's just full sun here on the patio, and even though it's quite early morning, it's just going to be too hot for Richard and I. So that's what this weird shape is above my head. If you're unfamiliar with this channel, this is a big rose arch that we have here at the edge of the patio. We have some steps that come down to this level. These are my patio pots, and this is the area that we're talking about today. So this is our patio area. You can see me there, hi. And then we go around to our kitchen. So this area is pretty much all shade. We've got a set of 3 terracotta pots over there that are quite large. This is our eating area. And, oops, sorry, I'm trying not to move too fast. And this is our seating area over here. So the seating area is surrounded by these trees. Now we've got 3 trees on this side and 3 trees on this side and 1 tree there. And we used to have 1 tree in this middle spot here behind the chair. So you can see there's a cutout in the patio, which would be quite hard to replace and match now. But I don't actually want to. Like, we need something in the centre there to sort of help differentiate the 2 areas. So there was supposed to be 1 tree here and 1 tree here, sort of opposite each other. Now this tree over here actually is a little bit sickly. It's not nearly as bushy as the other trees that have really filled out beautifully, and we kind of keep them pruned into semi-umbrella shapes. I'm trying to create like the classical umbrella shape with a flat bottom. So this tree may well come out. It's next to a eucalyptus hedge which may be taking all the water from this tree, and that could be why this tree is struggling. So this tree may come out in the future. We haven't quite decided yet, but what we're going to be doing today is planting up this spot. So this bed here in the middle has sort of had a load of annuals and things planted in it since that tree fell over a few years ago. We've got a thalictrum here, which is probably a big mistake because thalictrums like a little bit of shade. They do well in shade, but I really wanted something tall, and that's what I had at the time. So this poor thalictrum here is going to come out and go in a better spot. We've also got some bladder-campion because I had some bladder-campion, and I've got some in another bed at the base of this tree here. So the bladder-campion is going to come out. And there are some weeds. There are also some little purple geraniums, which I'm going to take out and save, but they've got really, I mean, they're quite small plants. They don't grow very big. I can't remember which variety it is. And they've got really little purple flowers. So I'll plant those at the front of a border somewhere. So everything in here is coming out. We do have an irrigation system that runs under the patio. We put it in the beginning when the patio is being laid. So it runs under the patio into this bed here. So what we're going to do is extend that irrigation system so that it can go up through the pot that we're going to put here. Now, I've gone to quite a lot of trouble to find the right pot. What I envisioned was a really big pot with a statement plant in the middle and lots of pretty colour around the outside. But I didn't want the pot to just sit on the ground, so I had to figure out a way to raise it up, like on a plinth or something similar, but I wanted it to be in keeping with everything we have here. We don't really have the sort of statuary that has plinths. We're sort of very Mediterranean in feel. We've got lots of terracotta and things like that. So what I figured out was if we used a millstone, it would have a hole in the centre that we could get the irrigation tube up through, and then we could place the pot on top, and I'd have room to plant around the base of the pot so that the pot would be sort of sitting in a sea of other flowers. I'm hoping that this is what I'm going to create. So what we've done is I measured the space and I found a pot that I really liked. I didn't want it to be terracotta because we've got a lot of terracotta already on the patio. So this is the bed that I'm talking about here, and right next to it we've got this gorgeous terracotta pot here, and I didn't want to sort of just have 2, like a big one here and a little one here. I thought it would be really odd. and I don't want any more pots here. I just really like this one on its own. So this pot, the pot that's going in here is going to be completely different. It's not going to be terracotta. And I found a place that would make a millstone for us that was the same size as the base of the pot. So this millstone is considerably smaller than this square here, which means I'm going to have a lot of room around the outside to plant fluffy flowers and pretty colour. And then the pot will sit on top of this here, and then we'll have more flowers coming out of that. So that is my vision. It's taken quite a bit of effort to explain to Richard what I needed and how I wanted it to look, but I think he gets it. And so he is on board now. He's going to help me. So Richard's really good at running the irrigation and things like that, and I do need him to lift the millstone. I could probably shove it and push it myself, but he'll do that, and then I'm going to plant up this area and have some fun, and I'll show you which plants I've chosen for this spot, and let's see how it looks in a few weeks' time. I'm really hoping, because we have a wedding celebration here in about 4 weeks, I'm really hoping that it will be in full flush by that stage. It may not, but at least it will look better than the mess that's here at the moment. So I've cut back all the Celine, the Bladdercampion, which I think is gorgeous, but I'm going to replant it somewhere else. But because I'm replanting it, I thought it best to cut it back. It'll be easier for the plant. We're going to dig them up and pop them in another border because I want to keep them. I think they're gorgeous, really interesting plants to look at. So we're down at the bottom of the garden. This is the bottom bed here. And we've got a plum tree here, Victoria plum. This is a crab apple called Chinoski. I'll put the name up on the screen. So at the base of this tree, we haven't got anything planted at the moment. And I think the Saline or Bladdercampion is going to look really gorgeous at the base there. And then we're going to dig out the Thalictrum and pop it in that pot, and that's going to get replanted in a shadier spot. So we're popping the Thalictrum where Richard's digging at the moment, and I think it's going to look gorgeous there, and it's very happy in semi-shade, so it will get shade for quite a lot of the day, and then by early afternoon that area will be in sun. So I think it's just going to be really happy. I'm popping it just behind an Aronia, which will have lovely coloured berries and a nice autumn colour. And we've got a really nice pale pink Astilbe here. And then once it's planted, I will actually deadhead it because the blooms are over, but we'll just get it in the ground and give it a good water. So what we're doing now that Richard's stomped it all down, we're just going to put a ring of stones in the middle, just in the hope that it's going to provide some sort of insurance against everything sinking too much. And then we're going to top up the compost in this bed because it really needs some more compost. So now that the irrigation's sorted, we're going to fill it up with compost. Richard's going to fill it up with compost. It's probably going to take 5 or maybe even 6 bags of compost. We have 40-litre bags of compost, and we're using the compost that I really love, which is the Melcourt Silvergrow peat-free compost. And I find that works really well for me. I'm happy to use peat-free, and we just order that in bulk, to be honest with you. First thing we're planting today is this. Now this is Gypsophila Rosenschleier, and I have some of this in my bottom border, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's soft and wafty, and Gypsophila is just the perfect sort of cloud-like flower. It does look a bit scrappy because they've been in their pots a bit too long, but I'm really hoping that in the next month these will be flowering too. I'm going to place these around the base of the pot. I keep wanting to call it a cauldron because it's kind of that shape, but it's a container. So round the base we're going to have this, and then these will grow up and just create this sort of wafty cloud, and it'll look like the container's floating on top of these fluffy clouds. The other thing we're planting around the base is some silver leaf, Cineraria, or it's also known as Dusty Miller, that's the common name. So I've got 4 of these, and they'll make a nice bushy silver mound. I think they'll go really well with the Gypsophila. So this patio area, I've tried to keep it kind of cool colours, so blues and whites and pinks, pale pinks mostly. So that's kind of what I've got going on in the borders, and it's what I'm going to put in this container as well. So now I'm going to tell you what I'm planting in the centre of this container, and I love this plant. I really, really love it. But there is one hiccup with this plant. Let me get it for you. So I have got 3 Salvia Amistads. These are not in flower yet, which is good because I don't want them to be in flower now. I want them to be in flower in about a month's time, which they will be. So I've intentionally bought some that aren't in flower. Salvia Amistad has the most incredibly coloured purple flowers. If you haven't come across Salvia Amistad, it really is a statement piece. Now, it's also a statement piece because it gets really tall in my garden, but the one problem with this plant is it just doesn't overwinter well. So I've tried mulching it really well, I've tried doing all sorts of things, and it just doesn't seem to come back. So I know that I'm going to have to dig these out and overwinter them in my plastic greenhouses or my cold frames and just protect them from the elements, and then hopefully I'll be able to replant them next year. Now, if that doesn't work and I lose them, then next year I'll figure out something else out to put in this spot. That might be a grass or it might be a hydrangea. So I'm just going to have to figure that out. But for this year, I've got one of my favourite plants, which is Salvia Amistad. Then round the outside of that, I'm also planting another one of my favourite plants. This is my other favourite plant, and I've got loads of these. So this is a Nemesia called Wisley Vanilla, and it really is incredible. So these containers have been sitting in the cold frames outside the back of my kitchen door, and I've been growing them on and just waiting to be able to plant this pot up. And when I'm working, this is what I could smell. I could just smell vanilla wafting into the kitchen, and it's gorgeous. I mean, all Nemesias smell really good, and quite a lot of them smell like vanilla, but this one, it's incredible. It's got the sweetest little flowers, white with little splashes of yellow, and yeah, I love this plant. So I am going to encircle the Salvia Amistad, these gorgeous, tall, elongated, wafty purple flowers, with a whole bunch of this creamy white and yellow Nemesia, and it's just going to smell incredible. So not only do the Salvia leaves smell really good, but the Nemesia is going to just waft all over the patio, which is going to bring me so much joy. So the first thing I'm going to do is, even though it's fresh compost, I'm going to add loads of plant food. So I use a slow release fertilizer in all my containers because I just find that it really does help. It just adds a little bit more of the nutrients that the plants aren't going to get because they're not in actual garden soil. And I'm just going to mix it around. In fact, I'm going to take out the tube, the irrigation tube, and just mix it into this top layer here. So for a lot of people, the Salvia Amistad is a perennial and will do really well in your borders. And I grow it in my borders, but I also think it's going to look statuesque. It's going to be amazing here in this container. If they were in a border, I would not plant them this closely together. But because I know I'm going to be taking them out for the winter, and they won't be staying in here, I know I can plant them closer together and they really will be a lovely statement. It's planted up. I'm so excited. I don't think I really explained to you how much I love this container. I searched high and low for something that I felt was going to be a statement piece here in the center, but also add something a little bit different. As I said, I didn't want terracotta. I didn't want it to take away from the terracotta planter we've already got here. And I think this is perfect. I know that it looks bare at the bottom, but give it a month and it won't. And in future years, this will already be quite high. I'll show you what the ones at the bottom of the garden look like. The gypsophila look like at the bottom of the garden. And obviously the Dusty Miller will have been growing all year. So that also would be quite high by now. But because they're new plants, they're not. They will get there. The Salvia Amistad should get super tall and it will just have these pops of purple at the bottom, bright purple, and I think that's going to be gorgeous. And then we're going to have the scent from the Nemesia Wisley vanilla. It's just incredible. I promise you, it really is excellent. Anyway, it's all done. I'm super happy. Everything's watered in. We've got the watering system set up and we're good to go. Can't wait to see this in a month's time and I will show you. So do subscribe, follow along if you'd like to see more videos like this, but also how this container turns out in the future, in the rest of the season. Anyway, thanks so much for watching and I'll see you all next time.